Hello, my wonderful Bloomington quarantined artists. Welcome to Meet the Masters Quarantine Edition. I hope everyone is doing okay. And since we can't be at school and you have plenty of time, we are going to do our Meet the Masters project.
Person helping Dad, that's me.
For Leonardo da Vinci. So follow along and I hope you have fun. Find a good place to work. And first thing we need, thing one,
is paper.
Yeah. Let's start preferably with a piece of white paper. We also need some darker paper. Some brown paper works well, each of that, but we won't use it right away. So actually, give it back, and let's get it out of the way. We're a little tight here. We'll save that for later, okay? Now, just as a reminder, everything we're doing right now, if you don't have exactly what we have here, what we're using, don't worry, okay? If you don't have the right color, just do whatever you want. This is just your time to have fun and make a cool drawing or make a good mess, whatever you want to do. Okay?
Messy!
So, you got your papers. Next thing we need are markers. Now, I said it doesn't really matter, and
Preferably
I
one.
still say that. However, I have found that like permanent markers or some of these, like I have Mr. Sketch markers that we use a lot, they don't work as well because what we're going to be using is a little bit of a water effect with these markers. So everybody also needs a little cup of water.
And don't spill it.
And if you have them,
Q-tips.
Q-tips are kind of fun. If you don't have it, again, no problem. You can use your, what?
You could use a toothbrush.
A toothbrush. Great idea. And then later on, we'll use some scissors.
Cut out your drawing.
Yep. And glue.
Why glue?
We'll glue this drawing onto the darker paper
That's the stuff I said. Unsafe and toxic.
so that, yeah,
It's
it'll work.
unsafe.
And this is the kind of thing that we might end up with. Now, remember, if yours don't end up looking anything like this, that's great.
Thumbs up.
Yep, you can do whatever you want. But we will be walking through kind of how to do something like this. So again, have fun. And if you don't like what you're doing, start over or don't worry how it looks. Just enjoy making. Okay?
Okay.
So, pick a marker.
Marker.
And first thing we're going to start with, you really only need one. Yes, you are right. We're going to start with a hat. And I'm going to start maybe kind of up here on my paper. And I'm going to start drawing like this part of a hat. And the reason why we're drawing hats is because when Leonardo was alive, almost everybody wore hats, especially the men. So I'm going to make, my hat is going to kind of be like 3 parts. I'm going to draw a hat like this. It's going to have kind of a band that goes across the middle. This is where it's like tied up. And then the top is going to be kind of this poofy cloud-like thing.
Poofy, poofy.
Yeah. Now, that's kind of the basics of the hat. Now, what I'm going to do is draw a face now, because Leonardo was excellent at drawing faces, and he got good at drawing faces because he was always looking at people and drawing them and practicing. He always had his sketchbooks. So, what he knew is he would start with some eyes, maybe. Okay? So down here below the hat, let's draw some eyes. Grand, you going for it?
Yeah.
Let's draw maybe an eye here, whatever. Ooh, nice.
Ooh, big eyes.
Whatever you want. Okay?
This guy has
Eyes. Give this guy some eyeballs.
unrealistically big eyeballs.
That's up to you. Now, Leonardo was a master at drawing realistic stuff, but this is your drawing, so you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay.
Unrealistically big
So you got some
eyeballs.
eyeballs, nice. Now what we have is a nose, and you can do your nose however you want it. But a really easy way to do a simple nose is to just kind of come up here and down a little bit, and then come over. And that might be all you need to do for your nose. It's up to you. Okay. Good. Nice. Nice. Okay. And then a little below the nose, what do we got? Some
Mouth.
a mouth, of course. And again, it can be really simple. If you don't feel like doing much, you could literally just do a line. Okay?
Line.
That's a nice little mouth. Or if you want to keep going, draw a little more detail. There's some lips, whatever you feel like. Okay?
Here we go.
Looking good. I love it. Especially during Leonardo's time, a lot of men had beards. And Leonardo had an especially long beard, so you can celebrate that. Now, you can start somewhere along here and start drawing the outside, because the beard started way up here under his hat, on the top of his head, and came all the way down.
So
It was a
many
big,
beards.
giant beard. Okay? Now, here is the fun part. You can draw whatever you want to fill in this beard. Nice, nice. Now, what you want to do is finish all the coloring that you're going to do. So if you need to pause and keep coloring,
I'm gonna give this guy a wart on his nose.
finish all the colors
A
that
big
you want.
wart on his nose.
Whenever you're ready, kind of clear out your space a little bit.
And use your ladder, right?
Yeah. So move the markers away, and again, take your time. Don't let us rush you.
Hey, Mrs.
When you've got your marker drawing how you want it, get your water, your little cup of water. And if you have a Q-tip, great. If not, you can dab your finger in
Or
here.
toothbrush.
Toothbrush, that's
Or
right.
tweezers.
You don't now. The thing is, you don't need a lot of water, but here's what we're going to do. If you saw in these, when you put water over the line, it kind of creates this cool effect. It spreads out the marker.
Aha!
Oh, beautiful. I love it. It spreads out that line, and it kind of softens it. It gives it this cool effect, like it's kind of this old-timey, old picture from the 1500s or something.
I thought it was like I thought it was
Julia,
from.
just get your Q-tip wet a little bit, and then all you're doing is drawing. Oh yeah, look, Julia.
It
That's
makes
awesome.
it reddish.
Yep. It kind of just spreads out the color. Now you don't need a lot of water here, because what happens is if you get a lot of water, your paper is going to get all soggy and it's going to start.
Oh yeah, it's got soggy right here. Sogginess.
Which is fine, but it's going to start ripping, and if you don't want that,
Soggy
be
City.
careful, okay? You can go over
Soggy City.
whatever you want. You can go over all the lines, you can go over some of them.
Now time for the lips.
Okay.
This mustache is turning out beautifully.
That is
Oh
the
yeah,
name
well look at
of
his
the game.
mustache. Oh no, this guy has the curliest best mustache.
No, mine's curlier.
See,
Okay.
that's just frizzy.
So
No,
really
it's earlier.
have fun getting into it and spreading out this marker. It's really a cool effect. I'm gonna get in there with my eyes.
Yes, give him cat-like eyes.
Yep. And take your time, do whatever you feel like you want to do. And again, do lots of these. Get your money's worth.
Monies.
Now, whenever you feel like you've got the right effect and you're done, what you probably want to do is let this dry a little bit because your paper gets pretty wet. So
Wetties.
hang it up somewhere.
On the clothesline.
That's fine.
I'm probably actually
Oh,
going to do
looking
that.
good. Love it. We're having some marker issues. Sometimes they wear out, and that's okay. Now, when you're done, again, take your time, but whenever I feel like I'm done, I'm going to cut it out. And you can leave a little border. That kind of shows it off a little bit more. If you cut right up on the line, that works also. But if you kind of make leave a little space, kind of outlines it and kind of makes it pop a little bit more. Makes it highlight, especially against like your dark background.
Or you can cut it straight on and make it look super old-timey.
You can do whatever you want. You don't even have to cut it out if you don't want.
Then you can just keep it on the white paper. And I probably will because it's soggy.
Remember, Leonardo was a master.
Of sogginess?
Probably because he was a master at basically everything. He was really
Oh
a talented
no,
man
it's got soggier.
who worked hard and developed all sorts of different talents and skills, and he was a true master.
A master of disguise, right?
Maybe. Okay. So
Master of
keep
painful.
working, but what you might want to do, I'm going to cut out this little beard. Leonardo had a very long beard, probably longer than this.
Foot.
At least.
Was it down to his waist?
I can't remember. Haven't seen him. One thing you could do now that you have your picture cut out is you could get your darker paper. Now again, brown if you have it. If not, whatever color you want. And
You can do it pink.
you could do it pink. You could do it purple. You could do polka dots. You could do whatever you want. But take this background paper. And probably want to wait for this, your main drawing to dry a little bit. It's up to you. Get some glue on the back here. Doesn't need much. Hurry.
Glue. Then you glue.
So then you're gluing that on. Get that glue all spread out.
Done with my
Get
glue.
these things looking good.
Oh wait, no.
I love the curly mustache that's happening here. Really cool. And the feather, really nice texture. All right, we're going to start over right here. So take your time. You can do as many of these as you want. If you're not,
It's okay.
if you're not happy, try a new one. This is your time to experiment and enjoy yourselves. I know you have a lot of schoolwork to do on the computer. I hope you're making lots of other art projects and enjoying yourselves and being nice to your brothers and sisters. And we will see you for Meet the Masters back in the fall. Talk to you later.
Wait, this is the last
Bye.
one?
It's the last one of the year.
Oh man.